Hi, coaches. Welcome back to Coach Basics Training. So, today I want to talk about a really important topic, the follow up. And we have a great saying that I love at Beachbody that I have found to be very, very true. And it goes basically that the fortune is in the follow up. So, you will find as you begin your coaching journey that very few people will be ready to say yes day one. Most people need some time. They need to kind of watch you and see what's going on. They kind of need to be involved and invited multiple times, which is why we invite every day and why we do follow ups every day. It's a daily activity that you need to do. So, for example, if you invited somebody to a group, and if you're doing a power hour every day, if you're working your business every day, you've got invitations every day, then there's kind of always going to be somebody to follow up with too. So if you've invited, 3 or 5 people on Monday, and you don't hear anything back and you invite 3 to 5 people on Tuesday, by Wednesday, you've got some follow ups to do with people from Monday, and by Thursday, the people from Tuesday. And, anyways, as you get going in your business, you've always got people to follow up with. So that's always my easiest part of my power hour is I've always got a ton of follow ups to do because I've got a ton of conversations going on and people who want information or people I haven't heard from that I just want to see if they have any more questions and things like that. So there's lots of opinions on follow-ups of when to do them, how to do them, exactly what to say. And I've played with different options, and some of them haven't worked for me, and some of them have. So I'm here to share with you what has worked, what seems to work best for me. First of all, one really important thing about a follow-up, I will say, is that you've got to have a way to track these. So we'll talk about, a power hour in this Coach Basics training, and it's really important to be organized. Now, I'm more of a pen and paper girl. I've got one right here, so I'm kind of always writing down. But I have found that it's really helpful to use Excel. And I'm not an Excel girl. I don't know anything about it. But I did set up Google Drive, and it's helped me be really, really organized in my business. So, and that's something important to kind of start day one to have that habit, because I'll tell you, there's nothing worse than having somebody who is interested, and you go back through your Facebook messages and you're scrolling, and you see somebody from a month ago that had said they were interested in more information and you totally forgot to message them back, because you will get compounded messages, and sometimes you'll have 10 or 15 messages sitting in your inbox, and you might think you'll never be at that point, but you will be, and it happens pretty quickly. And it's just easy when you're sending out messages every day and working your business through Facebook every day to forget about somebody. We don't ever want that to happen. So when I send an invitation or a message, that's already in my Power Hour document. So it's kind of like what I do is a Google Drive document. So I have Gmail for my email, and I open up Google Drive. And then I pull up a Google document and I label it like whatever week that I'm in, like November 30th to December 6th or something, and I will put Monday through, Sunday at the top. And on the way down, I have like invites and follow ups and whatever. And then next to those on each day, I'll write the people's names that I invited or follow up. And that way I have a way to track who I'm talking to. And I can look the next day and say, oh, yeah, on Monday I sent, Mary an invite. It's time to follow up with her. To help you stay organized and not forget about anybody. So definitely want to kind of implement a system for tracking. If you're really pen and paper at the beginning and you want to write it all down, that's great. Whatever works for you, but it's a really good way to get organized as you build your business. Is to just kind of start day one using something like Google Drive or Excel. Okay, so when you send somebody an invite, like I said, they're often going to need to be invited multiple times. And if you think about it, like think about when you were invited by your coach. Were you ready to sign up as a challenger or coach day one? Probably not, right? Most of us weren't. So I know myself, it took me about 4 months to say yes to my coach, to the business opportunity, and that included my challenge pack and everything like that. So she definitely had to reach out to me again, and I had to think about it. And she actually didn't reach out many times, but it was in my mind. The seed was planted. I needed to do my research. I needed to think about it, pray about it. I just needed time. And some people need time. So you've got to remember when you send something out as a new coach, you send out all these invites and you're all excited. And then the next day rolls around and you log in and you're excited to see these messages and you don't see any. And you're like, oh, busy day. Maybe they'll get to me tomorrow. And then you don't see anybody. And it's really easy to get down on yourself and think, oh, nobody's interested. It's not that. People need time. And when you're a new coach, they need that time to see that you're going to be around, that you're sticking with this, that, it's kind of like day one. Why should I join her? Yesterday she was, overweight and unhappy, and today she's a coach and ready to go. Like, how do I know she's going to change anything? How do I know I want to join her? So you've got to let them see that, let them see you and the changes you're making, and and do follow up. So sometimes it just takes time. I signed up a girl tonight as a challenger, and when I sent her enrollment email, I saw that the very first time I tried to enroll her was May. It's now December. So you can see it can take a long time. I have somebody else who just joined my challenge group that's starting on Monday in 2 days. And she was somebody from one of my very first cleaning groups, which was back in like April, I think. So some people take time. And I'll tell you, when I look back, I have followed up with her nearly every month. And we don't, as new coaches, want to come off as desperate. And I know I did that at the beginning. It's a normal new coach mistake. I would kind of be like, "Hey, did you get my message?" And you'll find that it bothers you because now with Facebook we can see when someone's viewed the message. So you'll be like, "Wait, why did they saw it? Why are they messaging back?" And you kind of want to control it, and you'll feel that desire to be like, "Well, why didn't you answer?" Some people had told me that, there's different ways to say, "Hey girl, I just wanted to make sure you got my message. I wanted to let you know I'm saving a spot for you. So just let me know what." I didn't have luck with that. I don't really feel like telling someone that I'm saving a spot for them when I'm not really saving a spot just for them because I can always give another spot or take another spot. It just didn't feel completely honest for me. I know it didn't for a couple of my coaches, and so it hasn't really been successful for us to kind of place that urgency on them. I don't really feel like it gets a quick response like intended. But what does work for me is just being genuine and saying, so if I send an invite on Monday and I don't hear back, the rest of Monday, Tuesday, by Wednesday, I might say, "Hey girl, I just wanted to make sure that you got my message on Monday. I knew you were, thinking about losing weight or interested in joining a challenge group. If any of those things are true or whatever it is true, you can throw that in there and so I just wanted to let know if you have any other questions for me." Another thing that works for me is saying, "Hey, girl, I just wanted to see if you got my message on Monday. I know I view messages all the time and then completely forget to respond. And so, life is busy. It happens all the time. I just want to make sure that I didn't forget about you or that it didn't get forgotten about if you do want to join me since my group is starting on Monday or whatever." So there's different ways you can word it. Um, and sometimes it's really great just to follow up and just to genuinely say to somebody, "Hey, how are you? How's life?" And not even talk about Beachbody, but just spur a conversation. And I've had that happen before when they're like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot to respond to your last question." And so, yeah, just there's all different ways that you can follow up, but just to keep in mind that you do want to follow up. It is really important. You can say, "Hey, girl, did you have any questions about that information that I sent you? If you do, I'm here to help. Please just give a holler or whatever." Or, "I was just thinking about you and wanted to touch base really quickly and see how things are going. How are you? How have you been?" Things like that. So remember, you want to follow up with people and just trust. Try not to let a lot of doubt creep in. Trust that you're planting seeds. They need some time. And even if you kind of hear those crickets at the beginning, it's normal. Just keep planting your seeds. Just keep being consistent. Keep inviting, and it will happen. And those people who you didn't hear back from, or maybe who gave you no's in the beginning, will be coming back to you with yeses in a couple of months, or if that. And also, you're going to need to follow up even with your current customers and clients once you get them in your challengers. You want to reach out to them and be following up and asking them how they're liking Shakeology and how they're enjoying the challenge group and their experience. And if they're feeling like they've been in a group maybe 2 or 3 months, maybe they're ready for a new program or maybe the coaching opportunity. So we kind of always want to be following up just in general, and that's a really, really, really good habit to get into doing. And also, one last thing I want to mention really is that with the following up, it's so much more important to listen than it is to talk. And this is something I've had to learn too. Ideally, you want to follow up within like a week of talking with somebody, usually just a few days. But you want to listen because it's so you want to encourage because sometimes people are just nervous to jump in with you. They're a little scared. They haven't done well in the past. And so they just kind of need that little bit of encouragement. And asking questions will help because you might find that there's something that they're kind of hung up on or something that's concerning them, or whether it's the start date or it's finances or whatever. But the more you listen, and ask questions and listen rather than telling them and just word blabbing on them, the more you can actually get somewhere and help them. So that's definitely another really good thing to keep in mind with the follow up. So it's about 80% asking questions and listening, and only about 20% talking. So asking questions and then listening really helps build the trust relationship that's really key for a long term coaching relationship. So that will definitely help you with the follow ups. And then I think I covered everything that I wanted to tell you guys. You don't want to come off too pushy or desperate. Just send maybe one follow up. If you don't hear back, I might send one more just right before the group is starting. "Hey, I know you were interested in the group. If you still are, it's starting on Monday. I just want to make sure you get in on time if you are." And then if I don't hear back, that's okay. Maybe I'll invite them next month to the next challenge group. So just don't give up on people. And I hope that helps and have a great day.